Doma Sports Talk, worldwide, with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed, baby. Now, let's talk a little heavyweights, right? Got a great day of boxing, or night of boxing, depending on where you at in Great Britain, right? We won't talk about the main card, the main fight yet, because we're going to talk about the ones before. Dereck Chisora's win over Arthur Szpilka was nothing less than sensational. Dereck Chisora, let me tell you something. Since he's been with David Haye, now y'all know I roll with some David Haye, but it is what it is. I think the David Haye's discipline has helped Dereck Chisora in a different way. Even though after the fight, Dereck Chisora was saying that, he had problems in the camp a little bit. The last 4 days was great, but he just looks a little bit more cut. He looks a little bit more like he's throwing those punches with a little bit more authority than he has before. I think David Haye is helping this guy. It's just me, right? He's been looking good. Even the loss versus Dillian White, he was looking good. Probably winning the fight until being stopped. And, and the referee was in the way on that one. Dereck Chisora has been looking decent. After 9 losses to reinvent himself, it's not bad to watch. You're not supposed to get rid of Szpilka like that, right? Second round, devastating knockout. That's what he was able to do. I think it's awesome. Puts him in the mix. And, hey, I should have on my wrong hat because I'm saying you shouldn't fight Joseph Park. Joseph Park should be waiting for him. Joseph Park should be trying to get with Tyson Fury, even though him and Tyson Fury are kind of close. And also, him and Deontay Wilder are kind of close. Those are fights that he probably doesn't want to take unless it's, it's the last thing, you have to do. Understand that with Joseph Parker, but at some point, that's what you're going to have to do. You can't just keep looking for the other one. And Joshua and Ruiz and them, can't keep following them because they got things to do. So I think he should be fighting Tyson Fury. But after Dereck Chisora does this, right, to Arthur Szpilka, it's Deontay Wilder type stuff. Szpilka was out for a second. Then maybe that fight is, going to be a lot bigger than you would think, especially in England, right? So that's good. And it's just good to see a person, with 9 losses that are still able to do things that are pretty awesome. I mean, it's not easy to beat Szpilka like that. Szpilka just went 12 rounds tooth and nail with Maurice Vach, right? So Maurice Vach's a big guy, and a big 6'7" Polish guy. And although I had Vach edging him a little bit on a close fight, I still thought that Szpilka was in it. You see what I mean? So, but he wasn't in this one. So Dereck Chisora, much props to him, or like they say in Britain, big ups to Dereck Chisora, man. So another guy, right? David Price. Come on, man. David Price stops your boy Dave Allen. I don't know if it was round 9 before Dave Allen didn't want to come out around 10. I forget right now. But, David Price looked very, very good in that fight. And you can be nothing but happy for David Price in a win like that, because that was a high-profile fight in England. Nowhere else, really. But in England it was. And David Price has lost a lot of fights by knockout, right? And you going for David Price because he's been knocked out by members, we're talking about the people who started the group, the Dope Street Boys, right? He's been knocked out by the main members, the founding fathers of the Dope Street Boys. Erkan Tepper. Really? I told you it's Big Bang Theory in his house. Everybody got on white jackets and stuff in there making the dope. He's really dope with all kind of stuff up in there. It's not just a little bit of dope. Povetkin, 2 or 3 different kind of dopes, right? Tony Thompson, doped, especially in the first fight. Second fight, I don't think Tony Thompson was dope, but the first one. Those are 3. Might be another Dope Street dude that was in there, but those are 3 of his losses, right? And especially if you lose to a dope Tony Thompson in your first fight, that's not good because it gets into your psyche. So, he's had, bad experiences. So you're hoping for him to do well because of that, in my opinion, right? And for him to be working on his defense the way he was, and his stamina going into the late rounds, was still able to get them hands up, rolling those big old shoulders so he won't get hit on the chin. It seems to be working. And just when you see that, you can only be happy if you don't have something against the man, right? Not like, Dave Allen, you wouldn't like him anyway because just a cool character. Right, Dave Allen tried some things, tried some taunting, tried, keep his hands down, upper body move to get in and throw the bigger shots, landed a few great uppercuts on David Price where you were thinking, oh, because you don't want David Price to get hit at all because you know what can happen. He's going to stumble on you, right? You got the anti-Joshua syndrome. Don't even try it. So, you're going for David Price, but woo, those uppercuts. Hey, Dave, you all right? Dave did a real good job on a lot of things. Kept his earmuff up. He was rolling. He's throwing great jabs. Tried to land a couple of uppercuts himself. He didn't really land, but one of them, I think. But he jabbed real well and did a lot of good things well. So it was good to see. Now, does that mean that David Price is back or anything like that? We won't go that far, right? But it puts him a little bit in the mix, right? A little bit in the mix because you saw some things, and when you see somebody improving on things, you can only give them love, right? So kudos, big ups to David Price as well for taking out Dave Allen, which everybody ain't doing either, right? So Dereck Chisora and David Price had excellent nights, and good for them. Dome Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm about to hear y'all.